All right, today we are diving deep into a step-by-step daily guide on how to naturally boost your testosterone. Look, if you've ever felt like you've hit a plateau with your strength or your muscle growth or just your overall energy, the info from our source material today might just offer a whole new way of looking at things. Let's break it all down. So, let me just ask you this straight up. Is this what you're after? Do you want to build your body, pack on more muscle, and seriously boost your strength? Because if the answer is yes, then there is one key hormone you absolutely have to get on your side. And you guessed it, that hormone is testosterone. So let's kick things off with the why. Before we even get into the how-to, it's so important to understand exactly why testosterone is so often called the absolute cornerstone of male performance and physiology. What's really interesting here is how the source material doesn't pull any punches. It's super direct. For bodybuilding, for muscle growth, or just for raw, powerful strength, testosterone is framed as the master key. It's the thing that unlocks your body's true potential. And of course, there's the flip side. The source really highlights what can happen when your levels are low. The idea here is that you can be hitting the gym like an absolute beast, day in and day out, but without enough testosterone, you might be facing sluggish muscle growth, hitting a strength plateau you just can't break, having low stamina, and heck, even slower beard growth. All the things we kind of associate with male vitality. So if that's the problem, then what's the solution? Well, according to this guide, the entire process kicks off the second you wake up. Let's take a look at the morning routine that's designed to build a powerful foundation for your entire day. Okay, so here are the first 3 actionable steps. It starts with a little bit of nutrition, 2 garlic cloves with some honey, right on an empty stomach. Then we get to a more unusual step, literally connecting with the earth by walking barefoot on green grass for about 15 to 20 minutes. And finally, you fire up your metabolism with 5 minutes of high-intensity sprinting. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Walk on grass? Really? And it's a fair question. But the source material claims this super simple act has a whole range of surprising benefits. It's not just about a supposed testosterone boost. The text also links it to increasing muscle mass, improving eyesight, and even enhancing hair growth. And of course, there's the more conventional benefit. Getting that early morning sun helps your body produce vitamin D, which we know is crucial for hormonal health. It's really important to be clear about what sprinting means here. We are not talking about a long, slow jog. Nope. This is classic high-intensity interval training. We're talking go all out as fast as you can for 30 seconds. And then you rest. The guide suggests doing this cycle for just 5 minutes in the morning and then again in the evening. The whole idea is that this short, intense explosion of energy sends a powerful signal to your body to ramp up hormone production. So that's your morning jumpstart. But a strong start doesn't mean much if you don't follow through. So now let's look at the all-day diet and habits that are designed to keep that momentum going strong. Okay, this next one is a big one. It's foundational. Most of us, we hear protein and we immediately think muscle growth, right? And that is 100% correct. But the source really emphasizes that protein is also a crucial building block for your hormones themselves. So the takeaway is crystal clear. A high-protein diet isn't just a suggestion. It's essential for both muscle repair and hormone production. And the guide gets super specific with this next tip. About 2 or 3 hours after that morning garlic and honey ritual, the recommendation is to eat figs, also known as angier. These are traditionally thought to be a really great natural testosterone booster. All right, this next point from the source wades into a pretty debated topic. It puts forward the claim that frequent masturbation sends what it calls a negative signal that can supposedly dial down testosterone production. Now, it's super important to be clear. This is a really contested idea out there. But based on this particular premise, the recommendation in the material is to reduce the frequency. We're just explaining the viewpoint that's presented in the source. We've covered the morning, we've covered the all-day habits, so now we move to the very end of the day. And this is where the source introduces what it calls a simple but infallible technique to use right before you go to sleep. And, to really add some weight to this next tip, the source frames it as this piece of ancient wisdom, something that's been passed down through generations. The idea is that this isn't some newfangled biohack, but a long-standing practice for improving your overall vitality. So, what is it? And the method itself? It's surprisingly simple. Just like you see here, the process is just 3 easy steps. Before you hop into bed, get a basin of cool water. Then, you wash the soles of your feet for about 2 minutes. And finally, you just dry them off and go to sleep. That's it. So what's the thinking here? Well, the source claims there's a four-part benefit. The cool water is said to help reduce stress and wipe out fatigue from the day. This, in turn, is supposed to help you get much deeper sleep. And that right there is the key. Because we know from solid scientific research that high-quality sleep is one of the single most powerful things you can do to naturally boost your testosterone. All right, we have made it to our final section. This is going to cover one last element from the source, a kind of supplementary option for those of you who feel like you might need an extra little push, and then we'll wrap it all up. So let's say you try all of these natural methods. You're doing the diet, the exercise, the rituals, but you still feel that nagging fatigue and low energy. For that exact scenario, the source material points toward one final option, a potential herbal supplement to help bridge that gap. The specific product that gets a mention is Phytika's Horse Shakti capsule. And just to be perfectly clear, we are simply presenting the information exactly as it appears in the source material we're looking at today. So what's actually in this? Well, this slide gives us a peek at the key ingredients. It's a blend of really well-known Ayurvedic herbs, ashwagandha, shilajit, safed muesli, conch beej, and gokshura. All of these have a really long history of use in traditional medicine, especially for supporting male vitality. So, what is this blend supposed to do for you? Well, the claimed benefits are pretty wide-ranging. We're talking about boosting your overall vitality and strength, increasing your stamina and daily energy, helping to support hormonal balance, and even enhancing your endurance during your workouts. And that brings us to the big question, right? How long until you actually see any results? Well, the claim from the source is that by consistently applying all of these techniques, the diet, the sprints, the daily rituals, you could see a noticeable change in your energy, strength, and muscle growth in just 1 month. And that, my friends, really wraps up this entire guide. All the information has been laid out. The daily steps are crystal clear. So the final question from the source isn't for me, it's for you. Are you ready to commit to this for 1 month and see what kind of change is really possible? That's all for this explainer. Thanks for joining me.